If you could edit an ability for yourself in a rule-based anomaly, how would you design it? I transmigrated into a strange rule-based anomaly where 100 lucky ones, selected here, need to edit an ability for themselves. There are no restrictions on its use, but the cost is being monitored by the entire population. If someone guesses it, you die. But I think I found a bug. The rules don't mention self-imposed limitations. 1 second I was at home watching the Marineford War, discussing who's stronger, Akainu or Whitebeard, and the next second I transmigrated to this strange rule-based anomaly. Several rules immediately popped into my head. Rule 1, you need to edit an ability for yourself, to the best of your knowledge. Rule 2, 100 lucky ones will be monitored by the entire population. Any monitor who guesses the ability will gain it without any cost, and the original user will die. Rule 3, the last surviving lucky one can bring everything obtained from the anomaly world back to the real world. Rule 4, monitors cannot influence the lucky ones in any way, including but not limited to restricting their actions, intimidating them, etc., but can only observe and summarize the ability. Rule 5, to guess the ability, you only need to clearly express the core activation conditions, effects, or forms of manifestation of the ability. Any language is acceptable. It doesn't need to be perfectly accurate. Rule 6, if no one guesses the lucky one's ability within the time limit, a forced PK will be judged based on the percentage of completeness of the guesses. Rule 7, lucky ones can use their abilities at will, but please abide by local laws and regulations. Direct elimination for any violations. Rule 8, please remember your own ability. The world will periodically verify this. If a lucky one forgets their ability, they will be erased. I can understand all the other rules except for the last one. Rule 9, stay tuned. He's talking. You might as well give me 2 nests. I support him. He might change the rules at any time. When you're in the anomaly, you have to bow your head. I better hurry up and think about how to edit my ability. There's still a week left. I'm in a modern parallel world. It seems that some abilities that involve illegal activities and rampant killings can't be used. Around me are the other 99 lucky ones who inexplicably came to this world. They are also confused. Fortunately, editing the ability gives us enough time. I was carefully thinking about how to make my ability complex enough when a simpleton next to me suddenly spoke up. Wow, I can become invisible. As the words fell, that guy slowly disappeared before everyone's eyes. I guess his ability is invisibility, judgment successful. Ability, judgment successful. That audience member who guessed the answer jumped up high with joy, while that guy who spoke carelessly disappeared silently in front of everyone. Stop it. Didn't you read the rules? How can there be such an idiot? Along with the death of the first lucky one, the others, besides being frightened, also understood. Abilities must never be discovered by the monitors. It's just that everyone didn't expect. Coming to this bizarre world, there isn't even a place to live. The monitors are everyone. Everyone you can see. It's terrifying to think about. I suddenly thought of a question. Can abilities be as long as you want? As long as you can remember it? Here comes the good stuff. My ability needs to meet several conditions. First, it has to be cool. Since it's an ability, how can it not be flashy? Second, it has to have some combat power or defense. In case something unexpected happens, can still parry a few blows. After all, it's a rule-based anomaly world. Third, it needs to be able to make money. Or the ability itself should be easy to find a job. But I still decided that getting money directly is more convenient. Who still works after time traveling? Fourth, it needs to be concealed. It must never be observed by others, or even suspected later. During the completeness competition, I need to ensure that there is enough hidden information. I'm also looking forward to being strong in virtue. So my ability is, when I make the Yinkishin Mezahushu Wuxuian hand seal, and shout, Daba She Shio Ha, my skin will generate absolute defense. Until my next urination, my urine will have 0.666 milliliters added out of nowhere, and I will lose 5 strands of hair and 3 eyebrows. Additionally, 100 red blood cells will be shed. When the hair and eyebrows land, 80 coli and 2 paramecia will randomly be born in the world. When the additional 100 red blood cells finish shedding, an H2O molecule will appear out of nowhere in the sky, as well as 990,000 yuan in my bank card. Mr. Godfather's hand seals. I learned them a long time ago. It will take these monitors a while just to study this. Since there are no usage restrictions on the ability, I definitely have to try it. With a shout of, Daba She Shio Ha, the surrounding monitors were extremely excited. This person, I know him. Water style, grand waterfall technique. His ability is water style, grand waterfall technique. Guessed wrong. There are young men. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Seeing that I didn't spray water from my mouth, everyone started analyzing whether I was editing the ability and hiding something afterward. Some people guessed that my ability is just making the hand seal without spraying water. Some people guessed my ability was spraying water a certain time after picking up the seal, all kinds of guesses after a long time. None of them were even close. I couldn't be bothered to pay attention to them. Anyway, they can't restrict us with actions. They can only passively observe. After the delay, the remaining dozens of lucky ones like me also completed the ability editing. Unfortunately, there were a few young girls and older aunties among them who didn't even understand what ability was, so naturally they couldn't edit anything. They were quickly guessed by everyone talking at once, and were obliterated by the world's will. There was one lucky one who was quite quick-witted. It edited its ability to be a presence that no one could perceive. Unfortunately, the monitors seemed to have experienced many such public guessing games, even though they hadn't noticed anything. About that lucky one with the low presence, the monitors still went through the process as usual. Egg recited a long list of abilities that had troubled them before, which included that person's presence reduction. I can't delay any longer. I need to find a toilet quickly. The second half of my ability hasn't been activated yet. I need to find a place to stay tonight, and I need to have a good dinner. In a short while, more than a dozen lucky ones in the newbie zone died. These monitors are too experienced. They've even organized a professional team to analyze our every move. Those few unlucky lucky ones who were obliterated died on the wrong answer sheet. These people described all the rule-based abilities like reduced presence, disappearing from sight, unseeable, unspeakable, indescribable. Although the abilities are created as you wish, they can't beat the world's will of the rule-based anomaly. Some outrageous abilities simply didn't work. For example, someone wanted to pinch a gesture. To return to the real world, this kind of ability editing naturally failed. What immortality? Abilities that no one can kill, naturally couldn't work either. In the end, we are just toys pulled over by the anomaly world for it to play with and amuse itself. The naive lucky ones who can't figure out the root cause are already dead without a breath. I comfortably went to the toilet, practiced 990,000 sentences. While I was using the toilet, all the lucky ones had completed their ability editing. At this time, a new rule descended again. Supplementary rule. Monitors, please return to normal life and do not verbally disturb the ability users. Guess the answer silently in your heart. I'm quite satisfied with this rule, to be honest. Being surrounded by a bunch of people guessing every day is like being watched like a monkey. Luckily, I'm not Shikong. Otherwise, it's more unbearable than being erased. Someone must have noticed the 990,000 suddenly in my bank card. But so what? At most, someone will guess that I formed a seal and took on the Three Gorges Dam construction. 990,000 appeared in my bank card. So wrong. I don't believe anyone can observe how many hairs and eyebrows I shed while using the restroom. I'm even less afraid of forgetting. The easiest thing to confuse is the hand gesture for the seal. I remember it clearly. 0.666 as an old buddy. Naturally won't forget. May 3rd birthday, 5 hairs, 3 eyebrows. 5 plus 3, 80. Coli, 5 minus 3, 2 paramecium, 100 hemoglobin. Exchange for 990,000 plus a drop of water. Perfect. After coming out of the restroom, I saw the surviving lucky ones had already inherited several piles, ensuring their temporary safety. I naturally want to join in on this excitement, but quietly observe. Besides survival, the immediate problem everyone faces is what to eat and where to live tonight. A few people's abilities are probably related to making money, but no one wants to use them at this time. The more you use, the more you expose. No matter how you edit it, there will always be traces. It's not worth exposing your ability just to solve temporary difficulties, and the rules also say that only one of us will survive in the end. The suspension bridge effect doesn't work. Everyone is in opposition. Seeing that things weren't going according to his plan, the suit man jumped around, shouting, "Shareholders, let's unite." It's a pity he gained little. At this time, an old man came out to stabilize the situation. No one wants to die, but it's too difficult to unite, since only one can survive. I propose forming groups of several people. If someone unfortunately dies, the others will take their last words back to the county. Everyone pondered for a moment. Most people agreed with the old man's suggestion. However, another problem arose. Everyone is so poor that they only have the clothes on their backs. They can't even exchange contact information. Even writing a will, there's no pen and paper. The moment to show off in front of everyone. Here it comes. Everyone gets a phone. Contacting, writing wills, all convenient. I'll take care of the money. I feel pretty safe right now. It wouldn't hurt to be generous. I have 990,000 in hand. How many phones can that buy? If necessary, I can just pee again. I directly led the people willing to exchange wills to the mall. After scouring several mobile phone stores, we finally gathered enough phones for everyone. The few who didn't want to interact with us just left. No one cared about those who quietly left. Fortunately, although the Strange Tales world didn't give us money, we still had our IDs, so we managed to get phone cards. We created over a dozen groups, big and small. Finally, we contacted all 70 of the lucky ones. The old man's suggestion of forming small teams was well received. Having 3 to 5 people together at least provides some backup, especially when browsing shopping malls. I went to the restroom again to supplement the rules world exit big screen. All guesses by the entertainers will appear on the big screen. The entertainers who guess correctly and completely will be directly obliterated. In addition, each day the entertainer with the highest suspicion and most stable information will be obliterated. As the rules were announced, a large screen appeared in the sky, displaying the names of all of us. At the very bottom are those who have been guessed pretty accurately. The person at the very bottom now. Their ability is teleportation. The activation condition has been guessed, drawing the letter D with a finger. What's missing is the distance and the condition of passing through a ring, but these watchers are omnipresent. High-speed cameras, big data, they're using everything they can. This guy's ability exposure is only a matter of time, unless he never uses his ability again. That guy is also in our group and his face is pale now. He's completely panicked. The faces of those ranked low weren't looking too good either. The original plan to form small groups was directly disrupted by the appearance of the big screen. No one wanted to team up with that teleporting guy, Lu Yong. Most people approached me, expressing their willingness to team up with me and help me hide my ability. I am the one with the most financial freedom among these people. Eating, drinking, and living costs money, and monetizing abilities takes time. Of course, finding the county seat is the best. I picked and chose and finally selected a cool girl and a boy who likes anime, and a high school student. I invited the old man, but he declined. He felt there was a generation gap between us young people, making communication difficult. He chose to team up with a few people of similar age. Finally, I pulled that guy named Lu Yong over here. If he temporarily refrains from using his ability, and bets that others will be guessed more, he can survive. Lu Yong indeed joined the group led by me. Sister, are you willing to take me in? Stop talking nonsense. Since you're in, you listen to commands. Let's survive together. My ranking on the big screen is second. After all, I've exposed some superficial things. The watchers have received a lot of information. Who likes the Jaguar bus? 990,000 to use the restroom. There's so much already, and you're still ranked second? The cool and aloof girl, Lin Shui, is ranked first. The anime boy, Chun Chong, is ranked 11th. That high school student, Lu Yimo, is ranked 16th. Lu Yong, needless to say, ranked last. The names behind him are already grayed out and not included in the ranking. They've all had their talents guessed and erased. I told them, let's have a good meal tonight, then find a comfortable place to stay. No matter what happens tomorrow, Tonight we have to live like human beings. The previous supplementary rule, not allowing the watchers to disturb our normal lives, has solved a big problem. Otherwise, having a group of people watching while you eat, shouting and yelling from time to time. We found a magnificent hotel. Got a private room. The private room isn't a problem as long as you're willing to pay. When ordering food, I perfectly embodied the nouveau riche attitude. Order whatever's expensive, order whatever you've never seen before. Just don't be afraid to spend money. Lin Shui seems to be doing well in the original world. Anyway, I didn't see anything uncomfortable about her. Chun Chong and Lu Yimo are also from ordinary families. They are also surprised and delighted by this kind of feast. Lu Yong is burdened by the death spots on the ranking. He's not even in the mood to eat. If there's anything you want to leave behind, or anything you want to say, write it down now. I handed him a notebook and a pen. No one is a saint. The purpose of everyone traveling together isn't just so that if someone dies, they can bring their last words back to the original world. Lu Yong is still hesitating. A short-term friendship. It's better to take care of yourself. Lu Yong silently put away the notebook and ate in silence. Compared to him, the few of us are much happier. I also ordered a bottle of wine to celebrate the establishment of our small team. Even if I'm confident, I wouldn't be arrogant enough to think that my talent will be the last one guessed. Instead of being worried and afraid, it's better to use the existing abilities to enjoy ourselves first. It's certainly good to be able to live to the end. Even if there really is a god who can defeat me, I can't be a starving ghost, can I? When leaving the hotel, everyone subconsciously looked up at the screen in the sky. The rankings of the others haven't changed for the time being. Lu Yong jumped to 79. The last one is 80. Everyone's happy mood was dampened. In such a short while, 3 more people are gone. Found a luxurious hotel to check in. The ranking of our small team is considered the most stable. Thanks to my low profile at the beginning, not many of my talents have been exposed, especially with my financial guarantee. Adding to the pressure of the constantly disappearing names on the leaderboard, everyone tacitly stopped using their abilities. Too bad this weird tail world won't let us just lie low. At 8 a.m. the next morning, the 79th name was erased, and Lu Yong became 73rd. Supplementary rule. Ability users must use their abilities more than 3 times a day, or they will be erased. When it was lunchtime, Lu Yong handed me the notebook, Gongshangji. I'm afraid I won't last a few more days. My dad's phone number is written in the notebook, Gongshangji. If you can get out, please give him a call and give him this notebook. Just tell him his son was unfilial and couldn't take care of him in his old age. Tears were welling up in his eyes, and for a moment I suddenly felt very sad and ashamed of my own cleverness. Unfortunately, 2 more names disappeared in the sky, making my brief guilt disappear instantly. Don't worry, if I can get out, I will definitely deliver it for you. If I also fail, I will pass the notebook on to others until it reaches the last person. Today, new rules were added. Everyone must use their abilities at least 3 times. Lu Yong said he couldn't hide it anymore and would definitely be exposed. After dinner, he and I went to the toilet together and from the toilet stall, teleported to another stall, then silently fell on the toilet. These beasts installed surveillance cameras even in the toilet. When I returned to the table alone in silence, the other 2 apparently understood that Lu Yong was gone. We opened another bottle of wine to commemorate this short-lived teammate. The big screen equipment has been optimized, so you don't have to look at the sky outdoors anymore. You can see it just by looking up. 3 boxes have been added after everyone's name. Mine already has 2 checkmarks, indicating that I have used my ability twice. Chun Chong has 1 checkmark, which he did when he just left our site. I don't know what his ability is. Lu Yimo disappeared for a few seconds. In front of us, also 1 checkmark. Lin Shui has all 3 checkmarks filled. I didn't notice anything unusual during this period. By dinner time, we had all completed the ability usage task. That bullshit about no cost and no limit to the number of uses was just a joke. Now everyone wishes they didn't have an ability and would never have to use it for fear of being guessed. There are only 57 names left on the leaderboard, and the rest have turned gray. Chun Chong died, not because his ability was guessed, but because he was killed by an ability user. On the 3rd day, new rules were updated. Supplementary rule. Ability users ascertain the abilities of other ability users in any way will receive 3 days of absolute safety protection, non-stackable. This means mutual attacks between lucky ones no longer need to abide by the laws and regulations of this world. People are the best at interpreting rules. It still takes time to capture other performers and interrogate them. 3 days of safety protection is good, but directly eliminate all other performers, leaving only yourself. Wouldn't that eliminate the need for guessing? The rules just landed and we received an attack. Chun Chong, who was walking on the outside, suffered a poisonous attack. I never knew what his ability was in the end. Fortunately, he wrote a will the day before. It's lying quietly in my pocket. Lu Yimo's ability to disappear in that instant saved his life. I unleashed a big move. Who knew activating absolute defense would take Lin Shui and run into the nearby police station? Performers can harm each other, but they cannot harm other people in this world. They're playing it cruelly. Hiding abilities, no harm means being attacked by other performers. Powerful abilities are too easily guessed. It all looks like a death sentence. Fortunately, although my ability has no attack power, it's pretty good at resisting damage. What exactly is Lin Shui's ability? Still ranked first now, the suspicion progress is a terrifying 0%. And her 3 usage tasks for today are completed again. The names on the big screen are turning gray one after another. We trembled and hid in the police station for a day. Now there are only 31 people left. Lu Yimo's ranking has dropped to 30. We separated tacitly. He's young, not stupid. He wants to survive. Only by dragging the top 30 down with him will he have a chance. Naturally, we won't approach each crazed performer one by one. Most importantly, we don't understand his ability. Separating amicably is the best choice at this time. He's not sure or hasn't decided to eliminate me and Lin Shui. I'm not very willing to be soft-hearted either. After all, I'm still relatively safe now and can't wander around the world. I need to consider finding a hiding place. I contacted a security company at the police station and hired 20 cars and 50 bodyguards. Being rich means being capricious. Escorted by a group of bodyguards, Lin Shui and I successfully arrived at a sales office. We have our own villa. Installing sufficient security can both isolate the monitor's line of sight and guard against the performers. Breaking into private residences and installing surveillance in other people's homes are illegal. At worst, let those monitors analyze my sewer. See what's different about my urine. Lin Shui, it's temporarily safe outside now. As the number 1 on the leaderboard, I think we should have a good talk. I believe Lin Shui can't kill me. But the final PK round is based on the degree of suspicion. She hasn't exposed any information yet. I'm already 12% exposed. I'll be the last one to die, but I don't want to die. Lin Shui is a smart person and naturally understands what I'm saying. Seriously. Why did you choose to team up with me in the first place? Was it really just because I have money? In the initial setup phase, I assessed the behavioral patterns of each participant. The data showed that your chances of winning were the highest. I only make choices I'm confident in. Are you kidding me? You make blind guessing sound so sophisticated. Your psychological tactics are pretty slick. Believe it or not, I minored in clinical psychology. In my judgment, I've never misjudged a person. What's the point of your director assessment? What if I edited a trash artist? I'll tear him apart in minutes. Psychology can't save that. It's very clear. And based on what I said and based on my past experiences, my impression is that I shouldn't be wrong. I'm silent. Everyone, this is a rule-based anomaly. Miss, are you into metaphysics? Why? That's what I'm asking. Since she thinks I can win, why approach me? Because my impression is actually very ordinary. But I don't have any special abilities. In this cruel game, I need someone who can survive to the end. To provide samples. But I have a reason to go back, or rather, I have certain key information that I must bring back. It's not just for my personal survival. Or rather, some information must be brought back. Can be me, or it can be someone I trust. So the person you chose is me. Lin Shui told me that this kind of rule-based anomaly has happened more than once. The country has been studying it for a very long time in places we don't know. Lin Shui is part of this research team. Those quantum physics, space-time things she said, neutrinos and whatnot, I don't understand at all. But I know one thing. Their research team has never been able to bring back any information from the rule-based anomaly world. The information they currently have is all from survivors' mouths. Now she is fortunate enough to enter here and collect a lot of data. She needs someone to bring this information back. On the big screen, Lin Shui's suspicion level suddenly rose by 50%. When she handed me that USB drive, the monitor discovered part of her intention. Not just the monitor, I can vaguely guess too. Collecting data isn't just about looking with your eyes, right? Scientists definitely have their ways of testing. Lin Shui using her psychic power has this ability. I promise you, Lin Shui shows one effect. We settle down in the villa, although the bodyguards are also watching us. But they can block those psychic power users who have gone mad. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for Lin Shui. Her suspicion level keeps increasing. The above is the psychic power I guessed. I want to secure her a 3-day safety period. You don't understand the world of Lao Lu and Go Wang. Guessing randomly will definitely hit one. Lin Shui hesitated. Finally, under my insistence, she tried guessing. To not inhale 10% more gas than normal. Judgment failed. Don't guess me. I'm a water-style ninja. I'll let you guess one by one. Skip me and start. Sorry, I forgot. When the 9th one was guessed, that lucky person's progress increased by 20%. It's her. Lin Shui hesitated again. Really, do we really have to do this? If we guess correctly, that person will die. Is it really okay for us to do this? I'm the one who asked you to kill. I'll take the responsibility. It has nothing to do with you. In this cruel game, this kind of sacrifice has great value. Lin Shui took a deep breath. I understand. How do we guess next? Adjust the ratio first. Lin Shui continued to guess, adjusting the proportion of inhaled gas. Correct. The direction is wrong. I continued to guide, through constant trial and error. When the Friday takeout arrived, that person's name turned gray, and Lin Shui's name flashed with golden light. It's that the oxygen content inhaled into the lungs with each breath is 3% higher than normal. My heart is filled with guilt. Lin Shui feels even more so. It's just that data still needs to be collected, and there are some negative emotions. In the face of the greater good, they need to be suppressed. That night, Lu Yimo's name turned gray. We don't even know if he was killed or stepped on. I received more than 30 letters of testament, or various items, in front of my door. These people placed their last wishes on me. Humans, are truly strange creatures. They trust me, but they don't plan to let go of any opportunity to get rid of me. Finding that they really can't get rid of me, they generously offer a favor. Some people even just a moment before. Still slaughtering each other, the next moment that zombie-like person will leave a suicide note. To the person who killed him. Lin Shui took the USB drive, he's using a hard drive now. His progress is stuck at 50%, limited by the 3-day safety period. The ability users outside are even more chaotic. Also, surprisingly, that old man who initially suggested everyone stick together is still alive. You ask how I know? I bought information. The bodyguards outside the door, while monitoring me, can also earn some extra money from me, right? They also have to live in their world. The last day of Lin Shui's protector. The big screen experienced the most intense turmoil in the later stage, besides a few island ghosts who made it too complicated and forgot their abilities were erased. The most important thing is the appearance of a Lao Lu. The bodyguards brought back the news. This Lao Lu's edited ability is perception. It can perceive the energy generated during the operation of other people's abilities, thereby deducing the effect, ability method, etc. of the ability. This guy has been silently collecting data, just waiting for the final round. To make a big splash. Due to the rule that safety protectors cannot be stacked, he sent the information to the natives. A large part of the leaderboard disappeared instantly, but he wasn't much safer, because his outburst exposed his ability. After the 3-day protector expires, it will be his death. The morning Lin Shui's protector expired, 2 people came to the door of my villa. One was that old man, and the other was that Lao Lu with the perception ability. Now only the 4 of us are left on the leaderboard. Lao Lu still has 2 days left on his safety protector. He is the safest. The old man's suspicion level is also 50%. Lin Shui gave me the hard drive, and along with the hard drive was a piece of paper. Silence. Then, my suspicion has been here all along. The ability can't be hidden anymore. Before long, the big screen will announce all my information. Even if it's not guessed, the last place will also be erased after tomorrow. Gongshang, you erase it. Use my death to exchange for your 3 days of absolute safety. No way, living one more day is one more day. I ordered a hearty dinner. Let's eat first. The old man happily took the result. Handed over the chopsticks. No matter how big things are, eating is more important. Young man, can the old man join you? I didn't refuse the old man's request, and I also called over that Lao Lu. Lao Lu's name is Zhang Feng. The old man's name is Lu Jiangwo. We had a hearty meal. I asked the bodyguards to get a mahjong table. Just quickly used my ability while fixing my hair, completing today's task. In the end, the people in this room now belong to one world. Lin Shui is gone. She left silently. She didn't say goodbye to me, but I still felt it. A little sad. If it were a scientist, if it were some old man with gray hair and a scruffy beard, even if Einstein came, I wouldn't care about him. Zhang Feng's protector hadn't arrived yet, and he killed himself. He couldn't sense the details of my ability, so he attacked me. He forgot that I hadn't gone to the bathroom after using my ability. He didn't hurt me, but accidentally hurt the little girl who was helping me draw cards. You can't violate the current world's laws and regulations. Their priority is higher than the safety protector rules, and the little girl is still a minor. Zhang Feng was instantly obliterated. I played chess with the old man all night because we both knew that he had more progress than me in the mandatory PK the next day. I had 22%, he had 50%. The old man who played chess all night passed away peacefully. I suspect sleep deprivation was also a factor. I finally learned about his ability. The old man said he was no longer afraid of the person in this world, hearing the ability that attacked him. After all, this was the best ability he could think of. Walking 100 steps after a meal can live 99%. That 50% progress is the 100 steps. I quietly lay on the bed waiting to return, hoping the rule anomaly world would keep its word and let me take everything I gained in this world. The hard drive is just an afterthought. The big villa and over 2 billion in the bank card are more important, okay? God knows how much I cut in line for cigarettes. My hand speed is faster than Kakashi. Not even a drop of pee exists. Gradually sinking into darkness, I faintly heard the whistling of the wind. The sound became tighter and tighter. I tried hard to distinguish it and finally heard that voice. Welcome to the world of rule anomalies. In the second before sinking into darkness, I was still wondering how to use the 2 billion plus on the bank card and whether to change the villa's swimming pool to a constant temperature. As a result, that voice, welcome to the world of rule anomalies, exploded in my head like a thunderclap, making my eardrums buzz with pain. Didn't they say that if you survive to the end, you can bring everything back to reality? Is this world always cheating? I suddenly opened my eyes. The scene before me was vastly different from the previous modern parallel world. There was no magnificent villa, no attentive bodyguards, not even the hard drive in my pocket. Had even counted the birthdays. I raised my hand and pinched myself. The pain felt real, not a dream. All around, I am in a huge arena. The arena floor is cold, black metal, surrounded by layers of stands. But there are no monitors in the stands, only a gray mist. In the mist, countless eyes can be vaguely seen, staring intently at us in the center of the arena. That's right, it's us. Besides me in the arena, there are 11 other people, standing in 2s and 3s everywhere, with the same astonishment and vigilance on everyone's face, and a hint of ruthlessness from crawling out of a life or death situation. It is easy to guess that these people should be the same as me, all from different rule-based anomalies. The last survivor. And now we have fallen into the second game set by the will of the world. Sure enough, the next second, a cold, mechanical voice rang in every corner of the arena just like the last rule prompt. But the content is even colder and more cruel. The second round of rule-based anomalies ability game. Rule 1. All participants are winners of each anomaly, possessing the unlocked ability of the original anomaly. The ability retains the original activation conditions, effects, and associated costs. The world's will conduct a second verification. Previous ability users are directly erased. Rule 2. There is no monitor guessing session in this game. Participants need to defeat other teams through ability games. Rule 3. In the process of the game and using their own abilities' anomaly world resources, it is forbidden to use real-world items. Violators will be directly erased. Rule 4. The arena will randomly refresh rule cards. The card taker can temporarily modify a single rule, effective only once. Card effects are not stackable. Rule 5. There is no team limit in this game. Alliances and betrayals are allowed. Alliance relationships will take effect after both parties verbally confirm. The betrayer will gain 50% of the betrayed party's ability strength. Rule 6. The last surviving winner will become the customizer of the world's will competition. Can control all anomaly worlds, modify all rules, or choose to return to reality with all gains. Never to be summoned by anomalies. Rule 7. There are no laws and regulations in this game. All actions are based on survival as the first principle. Rule 8. The game officially begins. Countdown, 72 hours. The moment the mechanical voice fell, the arena floor made a clicking sound. A dozen cards with a blue glow floated out of the cracks in the ground, then scattered in every corner, and a piece of information instantly appeared in my mind. Everything I brought from the last anomaly didn't disappear. It was just temporarily sealed by this world. As long as I can survive to the end of this game, I can not only get back that wealth and hard drive, but also possess the power to control the anomalies. As for Lin Shui's hard drive, I now understand that it gave me more than just the research data from the last anomaly. I'm afraid it also contains secrets about the world's will, but before I had a chance to look, a cold voice rang out. The worlds will really treat us as pawns, playing round after round until it's bored. The speaker was a man in a black trench coat. He leaned against a metal pillar in the arena, a dagger with a cold gleam between his fingers, his eyes scanning everyone present. He carried a strong sense of vigilance, a bloody aura emanating from him. Clearly, in the last anomaly, he survived by pure slaughter. Another one, a child who looked only 12 or 13 years old, licked his lips, his eyes fixed on the rule cards, his voice childish but with a hint of ruthlessness. Who cares what kind of game it is? Whoever survives to the end is the boss. Those cards. I want them all. As he spoke, the child tapped his feet and his figure instantly turned into a blur. He rushed towards the closest card to him, and at the moment he moved, a burly man next to him also moved. His arm instantly swelled several times, and he punched towards the child's back, shouting, "You little brat dares to compete with me." The child seemed to have anticipated it, and suddenly changed direction, dodging the man's fist. At the same time, he raised his hand and waved, and a silver thread shot out from his fingertip. It wrapped around the man's wrist. The man roared in pain, and his arm strained to break the thread. But the thread was unusually tough, and instead became tighter and tighter. In the blink of an eye, the two were fighting. And the others also moved one after another. Some rushed towards the cards, while others first observed the opponents around them. Still others directly launched attacks on the people around them. The arena instantly became a chaotic mess. The light of abilities rose and fell one after another, and screams, shouts, and shrieks continued. I stood still. Ignoring being cowardly, I was analyzing the situation. The 11 opponents present had all crawled out of life and death situations. Their abilities are definitely not simple, and to survive to the end, you either have abilities that are strange and powerful enough, or you have a mind that is meticulous, ruthless, or even both. My current advantage is that my ability has absolute defense. As long as I make the hand seal and shout that slogan, I can remain in a defensive state until my next minor change, and the details associated with my ability, like generating E. coli or paramecium, these are things opponents would never expect or perceive. This is my trump card, but my disadvantage is also obvious. My ability has no offensive capability. I can only defend. If I want to defeat an opponent, I can only rely on subduing them, rely on rule cards, or rely on sneaky backstabbing. And the duration of that absolute defense entirely depends on when I minor change. If this is discovered by my opponents, it will become my fatal weakness. So, the most sensible thing to do now isn't to rush up and grab a card, isn't to fight anyone head-on, but to find a hidden place first, observe each opponent's ability, and find out their weaknesses. At the same time, wait for the right opportunity to pick up a rule card and gain an advantage for myself. Around the arena, there are many metal shelters. I took advantage of the melee, and moved quickly, hiding behind a huge metal shield. This shield must have been left over from the previous game. It's thick enough to block most ability attacks. After hiding, I began to carefully observe the situation on the field, recording each opponent's ability and characteristics. That grandma wearing a black wasp suit, her ability should be related to speed. Her figure is ridiculously fast, and her dagger can easily cut through the skin of that burly man. Obviously, the dagger has also been enhanced by her ability. Let's temporarily call her Wasp Woman. That 12 or 13-year-old kid, his ability is to control silver threads. The threads are tough and corrosive. The burly man's arm has already been corroded with bloody holes. Let's temporarily call him Silkhead. The burly man's ability is body gigantification, with infinite strength, and he's thick-skinned. Being corroded by the silk threads is just a minor injury. Let's temporarily call him Giant Strength. There's also a woman wearing a white dress. Her ability is healing. She can instantly heal her own and others' wounds. Two men are surrounding her, begging, wanting to rely on her healing ability to fight a war of attrition. Let's temporarily call her Healer. A bespectacled, refined grandma is holding a notebook. As long as she writes something in the notebook, the corresponding person will suffer the corresponding punishment. For example, she wrote that so-and-so would have a leg cramp. The man who rushed over to grab a card instantly fell to the ground, his left leg cramping uncontrollably. This ability is extremely strange. Let's temporarily call her Notebook. There's also a bald man who can summon all kinds of guns out of thin air. Pistols, rifles, sniper rifles, you name it. Bullets hit the metal ground, sparks flying everywhere. Let's temporarily call him Gunbaldy. The remaining people also have their own abilities. There's Flame Woman who can control fire. Water Shield Man who can control water currents. Invisible Man who can turn invisible and precognitive, who can foresee the short-term future. There's also a seemingly ordinary middle-aged woman who's been standing still, neither grabbing cards nor attacking anyone. She just watches everyone with calm eyes, her presence so low it's almost negligible. Let's temporarily call her Transparent. The significance of these people is either they have extremely strong offensive power, or they have bizarre support effects. In comparison, my absolute defense while life-saving makes winning quite difficult. Just as I was observing, that Notebook Man seemed to have discovered me hiding behind cover. He looked up in my direction, a cold smile playing on his lips, and his pen quickly wrote something in his notebook. My heart skipped a beat, and I instantly reacted, immediately chanting silently. Who repaired the dam? The sound falls. An invisible barrier instantly enveloped me. Almost at the same time, I felt like an invisible hand was grabbing my throat. I had difficulty breathing, and a sharp pain came from my head. Clearly, Notebook Man wrote something about me in his notebook. But because my absolute defense took effect, the effect of his ability was mostly negated, leaving only a slight pain. Notebook Man saw that I was unharmed, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, clearly not expecting my ability defense to be so strong. He frowned and wanted to write something else, but Flame Woman noticed him, and Flame Woman raised her hand and waved. A huge fireball smashed towards Notebook Man, and she shouted, "Stop making small moves! I'll take care of you first, you troublemaker." Notebook Man had to give up attacking me and quickly wrote in his notebook. The fireball dissipated, and the fireball that was blasted back instantly turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared without a trace. Flame Woman roared angrily at the sight, and several more fireballs blasted towards Notebook Man. The two instantly fought into a ball. I breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, I became more vigilant. Notebook Man's ability is too troublesome. I must deal with him as soon as possible, otherwise he will become a danger to everyone. And just then, I noticed not far from me, a rule card was floating. The blue light on the card was particularly dazzling. The effect of this card instantly appeared in my mind. Temporarily modify the rules. The activation conditions of the ability are temporarily invalid for 5 minutes. This card is simply a god card. If I can get it in these 5 minutes, all opponents will be unable to activate their abilities, and because I have already activated absolute defense, as long as the defense state does not disappear, I can do whatever I want during this time. This is a rare opportunity. I glanced at the situation on the field. Everyone is entangled with each other. No one noticed this card, and the Invisible Man seems to be moving towards the card's direction, obviously also eyeing this card. I can't let it succeed. Although my ability is not offensive, I still have legs. I sprinted towards the card with all my might. The Invisible Man is fast, but I am closer to the card. Just as its hand was about to touch the card, I pounced and grabbed the card. The card was cold in my hand. A stream of information instantly entered my mind, confirming the card's effect and also learning how to use it. Just crush the card, and the effect will take effect immediately. The Invisible Man didn't expect me to rush out suddenly, and was obviously shocked. An invisible attack came towards me, hitting my absolute defense barrier, making a muffled thud, and the barrier remained unmoved. I held the card and, facing the direction of the Invisible Man, smiled widely. Brother, I'll take this card. Saying that, I crushed the card in my hand without hesitation. The rule card took effect. The activation conditions for all participants. Abilities are temporarily nullified, lasting for 5 minutes. Countdown begins. The moment the mechanical voice sounded, all the ability light in the arena instantly disappeared. Those who were fighting were all stunned in place. The Flame Girl's fireball stopped in midair and turned into smoke, and the Waterman's stream instantly landed, splashing water everywhere. The Plane Man's snot slipped from his hand and fell on the metal ground, making a crisp sound. The Muscle Man's inflated arm instantly returned to its original state, and the whole person fell to the ground due to inertia. The silk threads of the threader instantly broke and fell in the air. As for the Green Girl's poisonous light disappeared. The two men beside her instantly lost protection and were caught off guard by the gun-wielding bald man next to her, falling to the ground on the spot. The Note Man's pen stopped on the notebook, unable to write another word. The smugness on her face instantly turned into horror. The gun-wielding bald man's sniper rifle instantly disappeared. She stood there, at a loss, staring at me fiercely. 5 minutes is enough to do a lot of things. I know this is my only chance and must eliminate several tricky opponents in these 5 minutes to pave the way for my subsequent survival. My first target is that Note Man. His ability is too strange. As long as you give him a chance, he could easily take out everyone. We must deal with him first. I rushed towards the notebook guy. Because his ability failed, he had no power to resist, so he could only turn around and run. But his speed couldn't compare to mine at all. I caught up to him in a few steps and kicked him in the back, knocking him down. The notebook guy looked back, his eyes full of fear, shouting, "You can't kill me. I can ally with you. I can help you take care of everyone." I sneered. "Ally? Forget it. I don't trust you." I bent down and picked up the pen on the ground, stabbing it directly into his chest. The notebook guy's body froze instantly. The light in his eyes slowly dissipated. His soul was gradually drawn away by the world, and his body turned into a wisp of smoke. Disappeared in the arena. Having dealt with the notebook guy, my second target is that bald guy with the guns. He's too aggressive and has all kinds of guns in his hands. Although his ability is failing now, if it recovers, I'll be in trouble. The bald guy with the guns was hiding behind cover, trying to find his guns, but he found them nowhere. When I rushed over, he picked up a metal pipe from the ground and smashed it at me. I raised my hand to block it and punched him in the face, breaking his nose. The bald guy with the guns cried out in pain and fell to the ground. I didn't give him a chance and aimed my foot at his head. Kicked him hard a few times until his body turned into light smoke and disappeared. Next is that Chan Sidong. This kid is ruthless and his ability is extremely troublesome. Keeping him is a disaster. Chan Sidong was trying to hide in the cracks of the arena. I quickly chased after him. He looked back at me, his eyes full of resentment, shouting, "You dare kill me? When my ability recovers, I will definitely chop you into meat paste." I grabbed his arm and lifted him up, slammed him hard on the metal ground. "Too bad you don't have a chance." The child's body was very light. This fall broke several of his bones. His body also turned into a wisp of light smoke disappeared. In just 2 minutes, I eliminated the 3 most threatening opponents. Everyone else in the arena was frightened by my ruthlessness. One by one, they hid far away, not daring to approach me. As for that Invisible Man, he sneaked away while I was dealing with the others. Hiding on the other side of the arena, clearly afraid I'd attack him. I glanced at the countdown. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. With the remaining time, I didn't continue killing. Instead, I started collecting the rule cards scattered everywhere. I had crushed one earlier. Now there are still many cards in the arena. I quickly picked up 4. They were, temporarily modify the rules, increase own ability intensity by 100%, lasting 3 minutes. Temporarily modify the rules, can shield an opponent's ability perception, lasting 10 minutes. Temporarily modify the rules, transfer the side effects of one's own ability to an opponent, single effect. Temporarily modify the rules, the arena randomly refreshes a rare item from the monster world. Each of these 4 cards has its own use. The key is that they can potentially save lives. Just as I picked up the last card, the countdown ended. Rule card effects expire. All participants' abilities return to normal. The mechanical voice sounded again. The light of abilities in the arena lit up again. Those remaining opponents were all looking at me with horrified and wary eyes, especially Flame Woman and Sujan. Their eyes were full of killing intent. Clearly, they considered me the biggest threat. Then Flame Woman suddenly spoke. Her voice was cold. Kid, you killed my people. I want you to pay. When I was dealing with the gun-wielding bald guy, I also took care of an ally by her side. She was clearly holding a grudge. As for you, there's another ally by her side. It's that precognitive. The precognitive looked at me and said, I saw it. You will die by fire and blade. I sneered. Is that so? Then I'll have to see how accurate your prediction is. I sneered and once again whispered the slogan, confirming that my absolute defense is still active. I haven't urinated yet, so the absolute defense will remain in effect. Their attacks can't hurt me at all. Flame Woman raised her hand and waved, and a huge fireball smashed towards me. Sujan flashed and rushed towards me, wielding an arm blade. The arm blade gleamed coldly. Obviously, she used her ability to enhance it. As for the woman in the back, she was enhancing their healing effects, helping them heal. The fireball smashed into my absolute defense barrier, making a muffled thumping sound. The barrier remained motionless. Sujan's arm blade stabbed the barrier, making a ding sound. The nose hand was bounced away, and Swift Blade's arm was shaken back repeatedly. Fire Woman's face filled with disbelief. How is that possible? How is your defense so strong? Her fireball is incredibly powerful. Even a golem, even Fire Woman's arm, even a golem's body, can be burned through with a big hole, yet it can't even break my defensive barrier. I raised my hand and took out that card. That increases my ability strength by 100% and crushed it. Nothing is impossible. You think you can kill me with your little abilities? Instantly, I felt my absolute defense barrier become even stronger, and an additional piece of information appeared in my mind. The side effects attached to my ability also increased by 100%. In other words, now if I urinate, my urine will contain an extra 1.332 milliliters. 10 strands of hair and 6 eyebrows will fall out, along with 200 red blood cells, and also a card that transfers the side effect cost of my ability to an opponent. I locked onto Fire Woman as my target. I crushed this card and silently chanted, transfer the side effect cost of my ability to Fire Woman. The rule card took effect. Ability side effect cost has been transferred to participant Fire Woman. The instant the mechanical voice sounded, Fire Woman's face suddenly turned pale, and her hair began to fall out in handfuls, and her eyebrows also began to fall off. She clutched her head and screamed in pain. My head hurt so much. Why is so much of my hair falling out? I snickered inwardly. This is the side effect cost of my ability. Although these costs seem insignificant, their sudden appearance can still cause considerable trouble for an opponent, especially since Fire Woman is currently activating her ability. Suddenly being affected by these costs caused her ability to instantly become chaotic. The fireball she emitted instantly lost control, and smashed towards Swift Blade next to her. Swift Blade couldn't dodge in time, and her arm was hit by the fireball, and a large hole was instantly burned through her arm, causing her to roar in pain. As for Healing Woman wanting to heal her, I threw a piece of metal that hit her wrist, causing the healing light to instantly disappear. Seizing this opportunity, I rushed towards them. Although my ability doesn't have an attack element, I can use the environment, use the contradictions between them, and reap the benefits. The situation in the arena became chaotic once again. Fire Woman's condition plummeted because the cost was transferred. Swift Blade was burned by the fireball, and became dissatisfied with Fire Woman, creating a rift between the two. Healing Woman was preoccupied with her own problems, unable to provide them with any further assistance, and that golem seized this opportunity to rush towards Fire Woman. I wanted to avenge the lynch mob that corrupted me, but I hid aside to observe the situation again. At the same time, I was paying attention to that transparent woman who had a very low presence. This woman is too strange. From the beginning of the game, she has been standing there, neither grabbing cards, nor attacking others, and has not even activated her ability once, as if this game has nothing to do with her. But those who can survive to the end of the anomaly must not be ordinary people. Her ability is probably more valuable than the Bikini Man's. It's just that she has been hiding it and refusing to reveal it, and that Invisible Man, since his ability recovered, he has never appeared again, obviously observing in the dark, waiting for an opportunity to stab someone in the back. Time passed little by little, and the number of people in the economic field became less and less. Julie solved the Flame Woman, but was fatally attacked by a civilian. The civilian solved Julie and then fought with the Healing Woman. In the end, all three were injured, and the Invisible Man secretly solved them. After the Invisible Man solved them, just as he was about to rush towards me, he was solved by the Transparent Woman with a sudden move, without even a chance to resist. In just a few hours, 11 opponents in the economic field are left with only the Transparent Woman and me. There are less than 48 hours left in the 72-hour countdown. The economic field became unusually quiet, with only the cold metal floor and the rule cards scattered everywhere, and traces of residual abilities. The Transparent Woman finally walked out of the spot. She walked towards me step by step, with a calm smile on her face, as if she was just taking a walk. The Transparent Woman spoke. Her voice is very gentle, completely different from her aura. You are very strong, stronger than I thought. I looked at her, my heart full of vigilance. You are not bad either, hiding for so long. It's finally time to make a move. Tell me, what is your ability? Stop hiding it. Now there are only 2 of us left in the economic field. There's no need to pretend anymore. The Transparent Woman stopped and stood 10 meters away from me. She raised her hand and brushed the broken hair from her forehead. She said softly, my ability is actually very simple. It's called non-existence. From the beginning of the game until now, you should have noticed that no one pays attention to me. Even if they do, they will soon forget. After my ability is activated, all opponents will subconsciously ignore me. Even if I stand in front of them, they will think I am air. I thought to myself, as expected, this ability is terrifying. Non-existence means she can approach her opponents anytime, anywhere, and launch sneak attacks. The opponent will be completely unaware. The Invisible Man was taken out in one move because he overlooked her. Then I asked, why are you only revealing yourself now? The Invisible Woman said faintly, because there's no need. When everyone else is alive, I just need to hide myself. and do what maximizes my benefits. Because you've already noticed me and remembered me, there's no need for me to hide anymore. I then understood that her ability also has a weakness. As long as the opponent clearly notices her and remembers her existence, her sense of non-existence will become invalid. I continued to ask, then what are your means of attack? You can't just rely on non-existence without any attack ability, right? My means of attack is rule control. A smile appeared on the corner of the invisible woman's mouth. Actually, I didn't come from an ordinary urban legend. I was a candidate to inherit the previous world's will. I just failed in the last step, so I was thrown into a new urban legend by the world's will. Besides non-existence, my ability can also slightly control rules. For example, I can modify the side effects of your ability, or I can make your absolute defense temporarily invalid. As the words fell, I instantly felt my absolute defense barrier begin to shake, and an invisible force was trying to tear my barrier apart. And my hair also started falling out in handfuls. Obviously the trade was more intense than the previous transfer to flame. The cost to you is even more severe. I was greatly alarmed. Oh no, she can really control the rules. Then I immediately took out the card that blocks an opponent's ability perception, crushed it, and locked the target on the invisible woman. Rule card activated. Participant invisible woman's ability perception has been blocked for 10 minutes. The smile on the invisible woman's face disappeared instantly as the mechanical sound rang out, and she frowned. Obviously, she felt that her ability perception was blocked, unable to control the rules, and unable to tear apart my absolute defense. And the discomfort on my body disappeared instantly, and my hair and eyebrows stopped falling out. A trace of surprise flashed in the invisible woman's eyes. Okay, you actually have this kind of card. Obviously, she didn't expect that I had so many trump cards in my hand, she sneered. Ice comes to block, water comes, and earth dams. You can control the rules, I can shield your perception. No one is worse than anyone else. The transparent woman's expression turned gloomy. She knew that in these 10 minutes, her ability perception was shielded, and she couldn't threaten me at all. And my absolute defense was still there. She can't hurt me either. The transparent woman said, even if you shield my perception, you will still die after 10 minutes. My rule control is not something that your ordinary card can resist. The power of the world's will is beyond your imagination. I just looked at her, then let's try it. In these 10 minutes, I have countless ways to solve you. As I said, I rushed towards the transparent woman. Although my ability is not offensive, I still have an arena card in my hand, which will refresh a rare resource card from the monster world. I can use this card to refresh a offensive resource to solve her. Seeing this, the transparent woman immediately turned around and ran. Her speed was very fast, obviously she also had speed ability blessings. I chased after her, and at the same time crushed the rare resource card. The rule card took effect. The arena then refreshed the monster world's rare resource, the Ability Amplification Sword. Ability Amplification Sword can temporarily grant the holder offensive abilities. This sword can cut off all ability barriers for 10 minutes. A long sword with golden light fell from the sky in the arena and landed right in front of me. I grabbed the long sword and instantly felt a powerful force pouring into my body. A golden sword energy appeared in my hand. This sword energy was enough to cut off all ability barriers. The transparent woman saw the Ability Amplification Sword in my hand, and her face instantly turned pale. She knew she had really met her match this time. She stopped running and turned to face me, trying to break through my card shield in these 10 minutes and regain control of the rules. But I won't give her this chance. I raised my hand and waved. A golden sword energy shot towards the transparent woman. The transparent woman tried to resist with her body, but was instantly penetrated by the sword energy. Her body turned into a wisp of smoke and wanted to escape, but was locked by the power of the world's will, and her soul was taken away. Completely disappeared in the arena. After solving the transparent woman, I was the only one left in the arena. A cold mechanical voice sounded in the arena. Do you choose one? To become the inheritor of the world's will? Control all monster worlds and modify all rules. 2. Return to the real world with all the gains. Never to be summoned by the anomaly again. And at the same time, 2 choices appeared in my mind. To become the successor of the world's will. Controlling all anomalies, it sounds tempting, possessing supreme power. Being able to modify all the rules, no longer having to fear being summoned by the anomaly, and even being able to control the life and death of others. But I thought of Lin Shui, I thought of Lu Yimo, I thought of Chen Chong. I thought of Lu Jiangwo, I thought of those who died in the anomaly, they only wanted to live. Some just wanted to bring their last words back to reality. Some just wanted to collect data for the country. The world has always treated people as pawns. Eliminating them when it's tired of playing, I don't want such power, and I'm just an ordinary person. Before the transmigration, I was just an ordinary person watching the Marineford War at home, discussing who was stronger, Akainu or Whitebeard. All I want is to return to the real world with my wealth, with Lin Shui's hard drive, and live a stable life. And also help Lin Shui fulfill his wish, to give the research data to his team, so that they can unlock the secrets of the anomaly world. Preventing more people from being drawn into the anomaly, then I unhesitatingly chose the second option. I choose to return to the real world. Selection confirmed, unlocking all gains for participant Gongsheng, opening the return channel to the real world. The moment the mechanical voice fell, the sky of the arena was torn open by a huge rift. The familiar atmosphere of the real world came from the rift. At the same time, everything that was sealed before was returned to me, Lin Shui's hard drive. That bank card with more than 2 billion, and the things I bought in the anomaly world, even a gesture I picked up. And my ability has also been completely preserved. The world's will has also optimized my ability. Removing the price of being revealed, my ability belongs only to me from now on, and I no longer have to worry about being guessed and dying. I looked back at this cold arena, looked at those opponents who died in the game, my heart was filled with mixed feelings. Rule anomaly is never a game, but a life and death situation. Those who can survive are climbing up on the corpses of others. I stepped into the return channel, the rift slowly closed behind me, the scene of the arena slowly disappeared, replaced by familiar city streets, and the sound of car horns in my ears, the noise of the crowd. I'm really back, Back to the real world, I looked down at myself, the pajamas I was wearing, turned into the casual clothes I wore before the transmigration, holding Ling Shue's hard drive in my hand, and the bank card with more than 2 billion in my pocket. And my ability is still in my mind very clear. I walked to a convenience store on the side of the road, bought a bottle of water, and by the way, looked at the electronic clock in the convenience store, the time displayed on it. It was the exact moment I crossed back, not a second off, as if all my previous experiences in the anomaly world were just a dream, but the hard drive in my hand, the bank card, and the skills in my head all told me it was real. I took out my phone, it still had power. I dialed the phone number Lin Shui left on the hard drive. The phone rang a few times and was answered. A steady male voice came from the other end. Hello, who is this? This is Gong Shang, Lin Shui's friend. She asked me to hand over some research data to you. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Finally an excited voice came. Mr. Gong Shang, you're still alive? How is Lin Shui? We haven't been able to contact her for a long time. I took a deep breath, feeling a pang of sadness in my heart. Lin Shui sacrificed herself in the anomaly. She asked me to hand over this hard drive to you. Inside is the research data she collected about the anomaly world, and secrets about the will of the world. Please tell me your location. We will send someone to pick you up immediately, and you can hold a funeral for Lin Shui. She is a hero of our team. I told them my location, hung up the phone and leaned against the door of the convenience store, watching the traffic in front of me. My heart filled with mixed feelings. Not long after, a black van stopped in front of me. Several people in white coats got out of the car. They saw the hard drive in my hand, their eyes full of excitement and respect. They took me into the car and headed to Lin Shui's research base. The research base was in a deep mountain, heavily guarded. There were many scientists like Lin Shui inside. They were all working hard to crack the secrets of the anomaly world. I handed over the hard drive to them. They immediately began to study it, and I stayed at the base. Lin Shui's funeral was simple. Only the research team members attended. Everyone's face was filled with sadness. I stood in front of Lin Shui's tombstone, placed a white chrysanthemum on the tombstone and said softly, Lin Shui, I did it. I brought back your data. I fulfilled your wish for you. You can rest in peace. In the days that followed, I stayed at the research base. I told those scientists all my experiences in the anomaly world, including the rules, including the skills, including the secrets of the world's will. And based on Lin Shui's hard drive and my experiences, they solved many mysteries of the anomaly world, researched methods to prevent being targeted by anomalies, and survival skills in anomalies. And I also used my skills and wealth to provide a large amount of funding and support to the research base, so that they can research methods to crack the anomalies faster. My ability has also come in handy in the real world. I can use absolute defense to protect myself and the people around me, and I can also make money with my ability. Every time Jane shouts that phrase, Daba She Shoshing, 990,000 yuan will appear in my bank account after I use the toilet. Over time, my wealth has grown more and more, and I have donated most of this money to research bases. And to those families who lost loved ones in the anomaly. Occasionally, I still watch Marineford War at home, but every time I see Jane's gesture on the screen, I will think of those days in the anomaly world, think of Lin Shui, think of Lu Yimo, think of those who died. I will also occasionally, Jane, shout that phrase, Daba She Shoshing, feeling the barrier of absolute defense, feeling the reality of being alive, letting the wind blow. It seems that I can hear that familiar voice again. Welcome to the world of rule-based anomalies, but I am no longer afraid, because I know that I have survived from the anomaly. I have the ability to protect myself and the people around me. I will always work hard to prevent more people from being targeted by the anomaly and no longer experiencing those physical and spiritual deaths. And that phrase, Daba She Shoshing, is no longer the slogan I used to save my life in the anomaly, but the proof that I am alive. It is my memorial to those who died in the anomaly. Life goes on. The threat of the anomaly may still exist, but I will always live well with Lin Shui's